Good morning. I know there's not a lot of light here, but that's okay. I needed to be able to speak freely because it's very early in the morning here. It's last I looked at the clock, it was 4:07 and a.m. and it's February 21st. And it feels like a very important day in my art, in my academic work, in my identity of self, in witnessing myself. And I'm just overwhelmed and in awe of so many things that I am piecing together, daring to play with, even though I don't yet have full understanding of how it is that I'm doing this. But I'm trusting my process and every little step that I've taken along the way, that I've trusted, that has either served me or guided me, even when nobody around me really had this skill or ability, or perhaps it was just a coping mechanism and it served me. And then I found something I needed, and then I evolved it, or I evolved me. And I feel like this is how my academic work goes. So today, I dare to say that this is my first time travel, official time travel protocol tracking, documentation note, if you will. I'm intentionally going to come back to this to see things that I've already discovered in the future, but that right now just feel like sleepy early morning dozy awarenesses that normally we just brush off. Like, well, that's shenanigans, or that's like, that makes no sense. And so I'm sorry, I just identified one of my invisible team members that lives here on Earth in real time from the past that's no longer in my life, but has helped me arrive here very much deliberately and on purpose, as well as two of my co-conspirators in this academic documentation of time travel. And the year is 2026. I don't know if I said that, just because Apple will document everything about this video in HEIC picture, which I suspect really doesn't play out very well for us in one of the versions of the future that I have happened to visit. And why perhaps I started turning off my phone at night earlier this year, and as soon as I track when I started doing that, I'll know exactly when I came back to this time period in the future, but I will remember it in the past. Oh, this is why art, spirituality, science, languages, and academic and maths cannot be separate. They all have to be together because they're foundational building blocks, or they have to meet at some point with each other relationally in biology somewhere, so that technology can stop being so devoid of soul, is what I say. whoa, I'm gonna understand that so much someday. Anyways, I'm gonna stay focused on today and anchoring into the first time I went skiing and horseback riding, okay? Because I am a master at skiing and at equestrian and horseback in the future, or in some future iteration of my human experience. And I have somehow drawn on it, or perhaps it was my past, but this one feels like the future. I'm gonna honor that was the instinct. Anyways, I went time traveling in 2025, and I got myself arrested. And so I apparently figured this out sometime after 2060, and I'm not supposed to be telling you all this. My team doesn't like it. I seem to have got off in pie fashion and am creating a disruption in the time-space continuum yet again, because I'm recording one of my fucking truths on video and doing my work. And so I'm trying to keep it wholesome, children, but mama does have a foul mouth. I curse like a sailor. Anyways, I feel like I need to focus. And I want to honor that as of today, even though it gives me chills up and down my spine and a terrible ache down my sciatic nerve all the way down to my knee, I can really feel the past, the present, and the future at once. And I really can identify other people's energy in my space, whether that's thought energy, emotional energy, like how they express themselves. Think of mannerisms and expressions, or even I'm going to say accents or affects that people put on their language regionally, just because that's how we experience the world, through our emotions, through our ancestral experiences. So how I'll explain what I mean in language and affect is, when I was a little kid, I used to make up new words a lot, and I used to laugh, and it was just so much fun to make up words and out of the languages, because I spoke Spanglish and English and Spanish, and yes, Spanglish is in its own language, all on its own, because it requires you to understand a lot of context between English and Spanish. And what's English? English requires us to understand a lot of context between Latin and German, is what I'm saying right now. And normally I would say the word guessing, but I'm saying because I clearly understand this somewhere in the past or in the future. So, this morning is an unusual morning in that I woke up much earlier than I have in a really long time, which means my nervous system is dysregulated, which means something's disrupted it. Ooh, I'm getting a clog right in this nostril right now, to the team that's tracking this. My voice feels like it's changing. There's a different sense of resonance, and there's a little different sense of space in my chest, kind of up here around the clavicle, if we're talking energetic boundary and not physical body. That was a lot of data all at once, and I did organize it into different tracks for the different teams. And as I think logically of how I organize these into tracks and teams. This eyeball has been doing this for some time now, since somebody put me on a certain medication, and then inflamed my nervous system with radio waves. And then all of a sudden I have what feels like a bionic eye. It really does. It focuses sometimes like a lens. And so in inflaming this nerve, I said nephrotic nerve, but it goes into the optic nerve. That stimulation is really designed to kind of blow up my brain in one of many ways, either like an atomic bomb of destruction or like an atomic bomb of creation. And I'm going to speculate that I will in future have a hypothesis about neural wiring and firing, and that extension or that reach that our neurons do under a microscope, where we can see, well, they do it all the time, but we can see it under a microscope. And when it extends to create that synapse and that spark, ooh, I'm getting a shiver. As my brain makes all these connections. So it is cold outside, but this shiver is like one where I can actually feel the itchiness in what I'm going to call the limbic part of my brain, which is the unconscious kind of control center, command center, if you will. Think of it kind of like if you're driving an excavation truck and you have all of your controls there and you're instantly making these arms and these wheels turn and move, okay? Oh man, that's really itchy. That's a lot of electricity, electromagnetic, electrostatic soul energy moving through me. And this has a physiological effect that is very tiresome to my physiology and can throw it into disorganization. And so I think why today is a very important day is I'm finally regulated enough to time travel, which is happening while I'm sleeping. Because while a rested, regulated, and aligned nervous system is, sorry, I'm just making so many connections. And every time I go to make really big, like, academic connections or artistic connections in my work with them I now experience and my already lived past experience and my already lived dream experience, I then end up here trying to regulate myself, my nervous system being overwhelmed, some of my actual physiological senses sharpening. So where I was going at with this eye situation, I actually end up with a ring, with the feeling of energy moving, almost like a little, like if you were thinking of a line, or like the ring around the outer side of the iris, as that ring almost like sharpening up as a lens from my physiological optic nerve. So whatever mechanisms are in my eye physically, did y'all hear that chirp? Remember that sound. It's important. It's February 23rd, around 4:30 in the morning probably by now. And this is a random chirp. And this is how I know I'm being stalked. These animal sounds are communications that certain entities use to communicate amongst themselves while they're in plain sight. But you see, in Canada, the climate changes, and so we don't hear the same animals all year round. So familiar sounds can become highly unusual and detectable because of the spaces and the places we roam. Now it is morning, so perhaps these birdies are waking up, or maybe I'm waking them up. But that's a mighty mechanical chirp sound, is what I'm noting. Anyways, this sharpening of senses here, and this is a perfect example, right? The attunement to the environment. Like, I am by no stretch of the imagination in this lifetime, as Sonia de Melsa Guzman Santa Maria, very versed in nature sounds from the standpoint of being able to identify specific birds. I am becoming attuned to that awareness as I spend more time in nature, but I don't have the language or the learned knowledge or the handed knowledge, oral knowledge in this lifetime to be able to express that. I'm starting, but I don't have it yet. Anyways, my cerebellum is itchy on the inside. How do you scratch the inside of your brain? Anyways, consequences and choices, people. Natural consequences. Enacted consequences. And unexpected consequences. So, time travel lightly, carefully, and wisely. And leave tracks. I record everything. I see you, Beethoven. I love you. Mind, body, and soul. I have the best invisible team ever. I love them to death. I've loved them to death in their time and space. And I hope I've loved you well. I hope I've scolded you well too when I came back to get my shit together. Because there's one iteration where everybody else gets what they want and I don't. And I let everybody get away with their misdeeds, and it's not pretty for everybody else. I thought I am in pain, but the pain I leave everybody else, oh, that's what kills me in the end. That's what kills me in the end. Holy shit. Does it ever? And that's why shame doesn't have a place in my work, even for the most corrupt and the most deserving of death criminal, because they did their job, whether we liked it or not. Welcome to Soul University, folks. Tread lightly, love deeply, think multiplied like pi with endless possibilities, like everything has already been and can always be. Think beta, because everything's an iteration and we can always learn from the bugs and the fixes. Think new, not because we're new and it has to be brand new. But think you. What's elemental? What is elemental to this existence? What is foundational to this reality? What is joyful to this game? Shall we have fun now? Shall we hold ourselves accountable now? Shall we use all of our foundational building blocks? Earth, air, fire, water. And in what order? And with what purpose? And what's our true intention? And what's the driving force? A house divided amongst itself cannot stand. Y'all, I hate to break it to ya, but from where I am standing, right here in 2026, the earth is round, not flat. We have digital and technological frequency bioweapons that tune us to the wrong frequency in time and space. And we call it mental health. So we can colonize a new people. A wise people. An intelligent life form. So we can zap their power, their fuel, their wisdom, their customs. And now that I see myself, I truly am the wild woman. I am wild, not just in your hegemony, but I am also wild in nature now. I am a wild human. My biology is apex, primal, which means my healing abilities are divine, and I am healing myself, and I am a genius, and I am a sage, and I am a human, and I am a woman, and I am a mother, and I am a daughter, and I am a sister. And to many sisters, I am a brother. And to humanity, you are my brethren. So, yes, the 3 times I got myself arrested in 2025 was because I was time traveling, and I knew not yet what I did. Yeah. That is correct. And some of you are time traveling backwards in space. And the bioweapon being used against you is fear. And the fear being tapped into is primal and apex and sentient and conscious. This is how we self-sabotage. This is what we call our shadow in psychology. This is what we call the 2 wolves in ancient wisdom, the snake in biblical wisdom, okay? Or in biblical scriptures, scrolls, whatever technology, language, and tools were used at that time. Everything is a tool. Everyone is an experience. Every situation is a lesson and an opportunity. And not everything is a problem, even though it might look like quite the pickle. Oh my God, I understand the Christmas pickle. Oh my God, I got the pickle so many years in a row. Oh fuck. Oh, this is so fun. I love my family and my family loves me. I am a princess. Oh, I love you guys so much. You were my favorite. Well, it was good. Oh, you elevated me so much. And you had so much patience for me. And I understood so little. Sometimes on this journey we have to break our own heart. I remember 2025 from here while I was there. This was when I knew I could journey with my man no longer. Thank you, Mama Hug. Every woman has their breaking point in the patriarchy. In that game, in that consciousness, in that radio frequency. So does every man, for different reasons. Mine was my son, for the will to live, for contributing to society. But the first boy that gave me that will was my brother. Oh. We can be good and bad at the same time. We can be right and wrong all at once. And we are. And in this lifetime, I came to do the job of helping kids with my experience. And, wow. All the earthquakes that are happening right now. Sure, Armageddon. But I would venture to guess that this is perhaps the gods, quote unquote, unleashing their quote unquote wrath. And I would like to tell myself the narrative that and the story that we are all time travelers coming back in time and space from whatever galaxy we came from last that broke us, where we executed our self-destruct command, and or timeline where we existed or exited ourselves from that timeline through our self-destruct command, whether that was living like a zombie and not doing the damn thing we knew we should have done, or actually putting ourselves in harm's way and exiting ourselves that way, or repeating a pattern that ends in a very bad outcome. That's trauma, and we have some serious soul trauma to heal. There's a lot of pain right now, and we have been given this gift of seeing wisdom, whether we're physiologically actually traveling and our energetic signature then resonates with actual ley lines in our global system. And what if the geo forecast and the solar storms are all of us traveling after we've exploded our planets from our suns collectively to come and learn something, and every time we do, we push it up. Whether I'm actually time traveling or not, or just writing a goddamn book, people, settle down. Or just creating art, or just exploring my spirituality, or just binge watching science in real life. I via YouTube and books and binge watching history in real life through the people I know and love, and studying them to death like poor Leonard's mother in Big Bang Theory. Oh, God. I love my family and my family loves me. And through the stars and actors and movies. Some of us need to be addicted to TV to wake the fuck up first. But TV just dulls your mind if you're too scared, or if you've been too bullied to believe that you could have that too. What you see others do, that's not just them. That's a mirror of you. That's what's possible for you. And so everywhere I went and every fucking thing I did, no matter how much I followed the instructions and the rules, something somewhere was telling me I couldn't do it. From some radio frequency, from some other time and space I didn't understand. I was no longer in this reality. I was in my trauma circle. I have very, very, very complex PTSD. I mean, excruciatingly complex PTSD. It lives in my physical brain and body. It lives in my psyche, in every thought. It lives in my physical world with my senses. And I've had the best nannies, Mary Poppins and mamas I could ever ask for. Oh man, have I ever. And the governesses, I'm so sorry. I was always an asshole to you in my time travels. I am so sorry. The frog, it was me. I hope y'all identified your frog princes. And when they had died, and I hope you became the queen and spoke up. And when your Ariel turned out to be the Wicked Witch, I hope, young man, you got the fuck out of Dodge. I hope, young sailor, you cursed yourself out of that Wicked Witch's curse. Ooh, boy. 'Cause now, this Disney princess has finally believed her own fairy tale. And she is the wild woman, the goddess that climbed the mountain. And y'all, this time I actually climbed the goddamn mountain. I didn't summit, but I climbed. But damn, I'm gonna summit. I'm gonna summit if the world can handle it. I promise not to time travel. I promise to walk this time for reals. Well, that would explain so much. I am so sorry, people. But I came to make sure the poison that had gotten me did not get you. And I had left some powerful people some very scary shit. Wow. And that also explains El Salvador 1986. Thank you, Mama Hug. I love you. I still haven't figured out what team you're on, Papa. Or the Lost Boys. There comes a time in our life where whether we're doing good or whether we're doing bad, based on whatever reality we're in at the moment, or whatever reality's defined for us at the moment, and whether we have the power to know ourselves or not, or see ourselves, or hear ourselves, or feel ourselves, or not. Psychology, religion are powerful tools and technology for mind control. These are bioweapons, folks. And now, not all bioweapons are bad. Some bioweapons treat cancers and keep the Judies in our life that we love so much alive, even if it hurts. Because it's the only way to keep the heart of the family. I love you so much. give up his hope.